Hey guys, it's the Hero DJ Hart. Welcome back to Tuesday's Toys. Today, I thought it would be a pretty cool idea to take a break from individual item-focused reviews and take a look at some of the smaller items I have that wouldn't get their own individual episode. So I'm going to look at a few of the knickknacks that I've got that I've had for a few years. Some of them I haven't had for very long. You know, and just go over some of the stuff that I keep in my collection that aren't super impressive, but are important to me nonetheless. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's take a look at my knickknacks. I mean, not my knickknacks. I mean the knickknacks that you play with. I mean, not that you would play with my knickknacks, but I mean, oh god, let's just get into the video. Alright, first up, it is a chess set that I got for my 21st birthday. Yeah, I've had this for a very long time. First of all, I still love this set. I mean, back then I was into like dragons and stuff, and I thought like that was my thing. And I kind of grew out of that, but I still love this set because it's it's a really nice set. I mean, it's a glass top. I mean, the pieces look really good too. I mean, you look at that. I mean, that's a good looking piece. I mean, these are great looking chess pieces. I really like them. You know, and here's and they look unique too. So like, here's the queen. So we get that. There you go. So like, that's the queen right there, and that's really. I mean, they did a good job with this. I mean, there's a lot of detail in this. I mean, I think it looks really good. I mean, sure, it's mass manufactured, but you know, whatevs. But then if you come over here and you look at the queen for this set, you'll see that this queen looks very different. I mean, she's in a seated position, whereas the other one was in a standing position. So they not only did they, you know, make sure each piece was a unique color like you're supposed to in chess, but they also tried to give each piece a more unique look. So this queen does not look exactly like the opposite queen. So they did a good job with that. Overall, I really like this piece. I mean, and then if you look at this, and I'm going to try to get away with this. There we go. So if you look here, this is the stand for each one, and then, you know, and you look how that looks. I mean, that looks really good. So I've had this chess set for a long time. I do know how to play chess. I'm just not very good at it. I've been played against the computer in chess a time or two on my computer here, and I've beaten it one time on easy, and that's in 15 years of playing it. But this is a really nice set. I'm glad that I have it. I always kind of put it on display somewhere, center of my space. So yeah, I mean, so this is my chess set. Alright, next on the list are my Pops. Now, I only own 2 Pops. These are the only 2 that I own, and I didn't even buy these myself. So this is the first one I got. This was given to me by a friend of mine I met online several years ago. You know, we were chatting online with similar interests and stuff. You know, we got to where we've been talking to each other for like a couple of months, just randomly. And then it just so happened she was going to be in town one day, so she, you know, came by we got together for lunch and hung on a little bit, and then she actually had this for me as a gift when we met. It's like, here, this is we're finally meeting gift, and I felt terrible because I didn't have anything for her. But it was really cool because the Red Power Ranger, you know, the Mighty Morphin Red Power Ranger was always my favorite Ranger, so she knew that, and she got me a Red Ranger Pop. So I thought it was pretty cool. You know, you got a couple other ones that it shows you. This is Pop number 406. So I thought that was really cool, and I put that in with my collection. And then this one is Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who. I am a Doctor Who fan, and Matt Smith was my Doctor. So I really like this. My girlfriend gave me this. The first couple of months we were together, she got me this. And I really like it because, first of all, he's got the fez and he's got the mop. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, you know what that's all about. And this one had a bunch of different ones you could get, but this is the only one that I ever got because I never went out of my way to collect Pops. But I really did like this. This is really cool. I keep this on my shelf. I actually keep it with my my Xbox games just to keep them in order because it fits really good there and it looks good. And, you know, so yeah. So these are 2 of my Pops. Alright, next on the list is something I don't regret buying this, but I wish I didn't have to give my money to Vince McMahon, or Walmart for that matter, but this is a WWE Ghostbusters figure. This is The Rock as a Ghostbuster. Now, the reason I got this is because, well, The Rock is my favorite wrestler. Yes, they got that freaking sticker on his face. I never did take that off. I gotta fix that. But The Rock is my favorite wrestler of all time. He has been since I was 15 years old because I used to be a big wrestling fan. I used to be a local professional wrestler on the small circuit when I was younger. And I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. Ghostbusters is my favorite movie of all time. So I had to have that. I do like, you got The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, and Shawn Michaels there. Not a big fan of John Cena, but huge Stone Cold fan, huge Rock fan, and pretty big Michaels fan too. So, and then you got Undertaker back there in the background, acting all spooky. So yeah, I do. You got the tagline right there. When there's something strange in your neighborhood, who are you gonna call? I guess we're calling The Rock, John Cena, Stone Cold, and Shawn Michaels. So yeah. All right, the next piece of my knick-knack collection. This is a homemade piece of Ghostbusters cosplay. Really, this is a pair of goggles, homemade. This is made by my good friend Donovan Murphy, aka Donovan Vice. He has a eBay page called Ectolectables, and he used to make stuff like this and a few other things, Ghostbusters replica type stuff for cosplay and for Halloween, and he would sell it on eBay, and he did pretty good. And this is one of the first ones he ever made, and I've always kept it. I really, really like it. I thought it always looked good. I always thought it looked pretty accurate to the movie. I mean, if you look through it, you can actually wear it, and you can look through it. Okay, let me get all the strappage out of the way. But if you look, you can look right through it, so you can see right through it. I would wear it from time to time because I liked it. Now you see it's covered in dust and stuff. I kind of most of my stuff collects dust after a while. But and then he had that sticker right there, which I thought added something to it. He's got that warning label right there. So I really, really like this. He hasn't really been doing much with it lately. I think he's feeling like the Spirit Halloween stores and everything. They got their Ghostbuster stuff out, and that's kind of taken from his business. So he scaled back some, but I always thought he did a good job with it, and I've always kept this. So yeah. Nice piece, very coveted piece of my collection. All right, now this is a very coveted piece of my collection. This is a clock that a good friend of mine made himself as a prize for winning the picks at WrestleMania 27. So what that means is we would all take guesses on who we thought were going to win each match of WrestleMania, and whoever had the most right guesses would win this clock that he made. And we all went to WrestleMania 27. We were there in Atlanta, Georgia. We were in the nosebleeds, but by God, we were there, and that was kind of the highlight of my wrestling fandom. Got to see The Rock live for the first time. It was great. And I won the pick, so I won the clock. So if you look at it, you've got the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Extreme Rules, Over the Limit, Fatal 4-Way, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Night of Champions, Hell in a Cell, Bragging Rights, Survivor Series, TLC. Those were all pay-per-views from that year leading up to WrestleMania 27. So, very coveted piece of my collection. I keep this safe. I'll never give it up because I'm very grateful to have it. I'm grateful for the memories. Big shout out to Captain Morgan for making this. Next up, we got some real odds and ends here. So first of all, the most prominent piece is this right here, the big bat-looking thing. This is actually the Man-Bat from Batman the Animated Series in the 90s. This is just an action figure that came out during this time period. And when I was younger, I worked at a Five Below store, just to bring in a couple extra bucks to help pay off some stuff a little earlier. And we did not carry this. This was nowhere in our store, but I randomly found it on the floor, so I'm pretty sure a kid dropped it. And I picked it up, and I looked all over the store for kids. I was, walked up to every person. I was like, excuse me, do you have any children with you? I think they may have dropped their toy. And nobody knew where this thing was. Nobody knew anything about it. So the poor kid must have dropped it and left, and I never found him. And so I was like, well, I hate for this to go to waste. So I brought it home with me because I knew what it was immediately. I'm a huge Batman the Animated Series fan. So I always kept this on my display. I always thought it was kind of cool. It does have the trigger in the back, so you can take it and he'll kind of flap his wings there. And the Man-Bat episode was one of the creepiest episodes of Batman the Animated Series, I thought. So I always kept it. I always thought it was pretty cool. And now this right here is, of course, Hefty Smurf from the Smurfs. And the reason I have this is because when I was in my late 20s, I owned and operated a gym for a couple of years. And somebody I knew gave me this to put on my desk because, I was a gym owner and I was in pretty good shape back then. And Hefty was always a strong one. So they gave me this as kind of just a little, half kind of a joke, half kind of a, something you can put on display. And I thought it was kind of neat, so I always kept it. somewhere where I could get to it. And now these right here, so these are gifts. They were Christmas gifts from my girlfriend's sister, who will someday become my sister-in-law. And these are from Japanese media of some kind. I'm not sure if they're based on TV shows or movies. So it's just a couple of toys that were available. They were some of the cheaper toys that are available for kids in Japan. And I thought they were really neat. She sent this over to me because she knows I'm into this kind of stuff. So you got right there, I'm not really sure what it's meant to be, but there it is. And then you can open it up a little bit. There's some opening parts to it. And give me a second, I'll try to get this opened up here. So there you go. So you got like a little logo of some kind there, and then when you look at it, see it's doing like that. So that's kind of neat. And again, I'm not really sure what it's meant to be or what it is, but it's pretty neat. And then you've got this right here. It's like a little sword that's probably from the same franchise, if I had to guess. And it doubles as a blaster, so you could fold it in. So you fold it just like that, and now you got a gun out of it. So it's kind of neat, and I like it because it kind of reminds me of the Power Rangers Blade Blaster, which is in a previous episode of Tuesday's Toys. You can go and check that out if you want to. So these were pretty neat. I always like these neat little knickknacks. This right here, this is an odd one. This is from my early childhood. So when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. I was going to sell something, I was going to make money, and I was going to be rich. So I would go to the building next to where I lived, and they had a big gravel parking lot, and I would just pick up the big rocks like this, and I would color them with magic markers, and then I would try to sell them. Now, obviously, I didn't sell any, but my aunt got a hold of one, and she kept it. Now, the magic marker has worn off of it, so obviously you can't see any of it anymore. But when I bought that gym in my 20s and I ran it, about a month later, I got a package in the mail with this in it. And with a little note that said, "You've always been a little businessman." And I was like, what? And I couldn't think of what she was talking about. And then when I got to thinking, I was like, oh, I used to color rocks and try to sell them when I was a kid. And this is one of those rocks. She always kept it. Now, the marker has worn off on it, so there's no marker left on it anymore because, it had been, years old at this point. This is 30 plus years we're talking about. But I always liked that she kept it, so I was like, it's meant a lot to me, even though I don't have that gym anymore, so I keep it on my shelf as part of my collection. And then this right here is something I keep. I can't remember which brother it was, but I've got 3 brothers, and one of them gave me this for Christmas one year. You know how in elementary school, they have like a little Santa shop you go through and you can pick up little knickknacks for your relatives and stuff for Christmas, and they usually cost a couple of bucks a piece. So I've always kept this because something that my brother gave me and I always liked it. And what I do, and something else that I keep in here if you open it up, is I was at a GameStop, and one of the GameStop employees just randomly gave me this Green Lantern ring, which I thought was pretty cool, so I just kept it in there, and it's about the right size. I could wear it for cosplay if I wanted to. I don't know, when I would wear Green Lantern cosplay, because I do like the Green Lantern. I just don't know if I like him that much to cosplay as him. But, so those are a few more pieces of my collection. So now let's get into a couple more specific things. All right, the next 2 pieces on my collection are from the Halo franchise, because I'm a big Halo fan. First of all, yes, I love the Halo games. No, I hate multiplayer. I despise multiplayer. People are too good. They're like professionally good. And by comparison, I absolutely suck. And I hate playing a multiplayer. I avoid it like the plague. But I love playing story mode, except for Halo 5. I kind of thought they butchered the story of that one a little bit, even though it was fun to play. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Halo franchise. So a buddy of mine got me this right here. He just randomly picked this up for me one day because he knew I was a fan. This is the UNSC Infinity, which is in the current status of the franchise, is the flagship of the United Earth Space Corps, which is the primary military that's driven by Earth and the colonies in that game. So, and I always thought this was a pretty badass ship. I mean, it was absolutely enormous. I mean, and the detail on this is really good too. If you look at it, I mean, I really like what they did with it. I mean, it looks good, and there's all kinds of antennae on it. And if you look at it here on the back, the engines are colored. There's like 3 primary engines on this thing, and I just thought it was a really, really cool piece. And he just randomly got it for me with no reason. It wasn't even my birthday. He just picked it up for me. So. He's always a good dude. I really always appreciated this. And then the next thing I have is this right here. So I forget what these are called because it's been so long since I've played the game. But this is from Halo 5. So one of the main protagonists of the game was always Cortana, who was an AI that was always pretty much in Chief's helmet. And she went crazy in the 5th game and started releasing these giant, ancient bird things. And they would come out of the ground and fly to a place and just disable everything with some kind of EMP. And this was like a metal model kit that came with my copy of Halo 5. So I just went ahead and put it together so I'd have something put on display. And I don't think I did a pretty good job. This was painstaking. It took me forever. But I ended up doing all right, except for I did break one piece off. You can see it laying right there. But I did like this. I did enjoy the process of putting this together. I have not done another one because I haven't had the desire. But this is something that I'm glad I did do. And it's just one more piece I can put on display and have in my collection. Alright, here's a couple more pieces of my Power Rangers collection. So, first of all, I did not go out of my way to find these and buy them. I didn't even happen across them. I have these because when I ordered my Golden Power Staff, which was in the last episode of Tuesday's Toys, the guy I bought it from just included these in the box just because he didn't know what else to do with them. He just wanted to get rid of them and he thought I'd like to have them. So he just threw them in the box and now I've got them. So over in the very back here, we've got the Red Battle Zord from Power Ranger Zeo, which was the Red Zeo Ranger's personal Zord, which is Tommy back in that time period. You've got a version of the Tyrannosaurus Zord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was the Zord of Jason Lee Scott. You've got right here a action figure of the Black Ranger, and I kind of like this figure because he holds a blaster in his hand, and that can come out of his hand. So you know he's very posable too. He's got several points of articulation, so I did like that. And the helmet actually comes off to reveal that it is Adam, played by Johnny Young Bosch, who I really, really liked, and I still like. Johnny Young Bosch is actually the bee's knees in Power Ranger fandom. In my opinion, I've always liked him. I love Walter Jones, don't get me wrong. Walter Jones, the original Black Ranger, that guy's awesome, and I'd love to see him come back and do a cameo someday because he hasn't done it yet, and I'd love to see it. But Johnny Young Bosch is awesome as well. Absolutely love Johnny Young Bosch. I always thought he was a fantastic Power Ranger, and I always thought he looked great in the Black Ranger uniform. All right. So then, also, now right here, we've got a Blue Ranger kind of figure. Now, what this is one of these little keys that they would use in the series Power Ranger Megaforce, and that would unlock that Ranger's power in their morpher, and they could morph into that particular Ranger. Now, I hate Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce. It is the absolute worst 2 seasons of the entire Power Ranger franchise, in my opinion. I keep this because, well, it's basically a figure of Billy, the original Blue Ranger, played by David Yost, and I'm a big fan, so I'm going to keep it. But at the same time, I hated that series. So, moving on. And then this right here is just another Blue Ranger figure. I'm not entirely sure what this is or where it comes from or why, but the guy included it in the box, so I have it and I keep it. It's on display. And then, of course, right here we have the Saber-Tooth Tiger Zord, potted by the original Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger, Trini, played by Tai Trang. Rest in peace. So, and I've played with this a few times. You can actually morph it a little bit to where it's supposed to be when you go to combine it with the other Zords, but I have yet to. I don't believe it can actually combine with anything. It's just got several points of articulation. So, but anyway, so those are more pieces of my collection in the Power Rangers franchise. All right, lastly, in my Knickknacks collection, it is the Saban's Power Rangers PCS Collectibles Red Ranger. This was too much money, but I had a bunch of gift cards, so I basically got it for free. I couldn't resist. I had to have this. I spotted it at GameStop, and I was like, I have to have that. There's no reason for me not to have this. So I have not opened this yet, so this will be the breaking of the seal. And on the back, it shows you some of the other ones that are available. So the White Ranger and the Green Ranger are available. I'm thinking I'd like to have both of these. I'm a Jason fan, but I'm thinking I'd like to have both of these at some point. So it's going to look really, really good. There's the same picture right there. And see if you look right here. There he is, Jason, the Red Ranger, on a giant power coin stand. I can't wait to break into this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so I can't wait any longer. I can't wait to get my hands on this thing and put it on display. So let's go ahead and break the seal. Alrighty, so we got a seal right here. We're going to go ahead and break that. There we go. And then there's another seal up top. Right there on the opposite side. So we're going to break that. There we go. Seal is broken. Oh, there's one more seal. Hang on. On the backside, right there. So got to break that seal. There we go. All right, all 3 seals are broken. Go ahead and break into this. There we go. Ah. All right. Go ahead and pull it out. There we go. Out of the box for the first time. Actually, let's take one more look at the box. If you look right here, I didn't notice that the Tyrannosaurus coin in the background of the box on the inside. I kind of like that. So this is a box that I will be keeping. Alrighty, so there's Jason, and he's in a plastic protection. So it's like it's molded to him, so it's got, you know, plastic both sides to keep it safe, keep it from bouncing around. Really like that, really appreciate it. So you can see that stand that he's on. I really like that. So and then of course, so the way I got to get into this thing is there's seals here, up top, and down on the sides here. So I got to break all those seals. So go ahead and do that. There we go. There, right here. There we go. And there's one up top. There we go. And then I think that's all of them. Got little pegs that hold it into place too. That added security. I like that. And there we go. He's out. He's out. There we go. Whoops. There we go. Look at that. Now, obviously, there's not going to be any playability with this. This is purely a display item. But it looks so good. I mean, it looks cool. Now, the one thing, and I'm not the type of person that normally does a lot of super complaining or anything. I think it looks fantastic, but the one thing that I would gripe about if I was a griper is that if you look at the color of his uniform, it's a very flat black, or red rather, very plain red. But if you look at the helmet, it's very, very shiny. So it's like there's a big difference in paint color there. So, and there's a difference in the way it feels too. You can feel the difference of in the material. So that's one thing I suppose I could harp about. And then looking at a couple little spots where it's marked up a little bit, it looks like it probably happened before it was packaged up. But I'm not going to complain too awful much because it is a fantastic looking display. And then of course I would like this to have been able to come out. So they got the blade blaster in here. I would like if they could have made it so this could come out. That could have been neat. And then if you could take the sword out of his hand, that could have been neat too. There's a couple of things they could have done with it, but overall, I'm not too concerned with it. I think it looks fantastic. I love that he's standing on a giant Tyrannosaurus power coin. I think that looks awesome. So it looks really, really good. He cannot be removed from the power coin, so that he's fixed to that stand there. So wherever he goes is wherever he goes. So, alright guys, well that is it for my knickknacks. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, please click the notification bell to receive notifications of future videos, and as always, this has been The Arrow, DJ Hart, saying thank you so much for joining me, and cross your hearts.